Welcome back to The Explainer, everyone. Today, we're taking a journey to the sacred banks of the river Ganga to explore a profound story of cosmic devotion, sacred geography, and eternal protection. We're looking at one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities on the entire planet. It's a place literally vibrating with the sounds of temple bells and devotional music, a city that has witnessed the turn of entire ages. Just look at the reality of this place. They come to pray, they come to be healed, they come to die. For thousands of years, pilgrims have been traveling to this exact spot from every corner of the subcontinent. And they arrive in every conceivable condition of life, carrying the immense, heavy weight of their human experiences. The stakes of this journey? Absolutely massive. It's a place of ultimate endings and, at the same time, profound spiritual beginnings. Okay, let's dive right into this. Part 1. City Built for Love. Which brings us to Part 2, Parvati's compassionate request. So the city we're talking about is Varanasi. You might know it as Benares, the City of Light, or most anciently, Kashi. But to really grasp its staggering origin, we've got to look way up to the absolute stillness of Mount Kailash. Picture this. It's a quiet afternoon, Parvati is looking out at the world below, and Shiva instantly recognizes this profound sorrow and deep compassion in her gaze. She starts speaking about the absolute heartache of human suffering, and her plea to him? It's incredibly simple but absolute. She says, I want there to be one place where anyone who comes can find liberation just by being there. She's literally asking for a sanctuary where souls don't have to endure 1,000 lifetimes of rigorous, exhausting practice to find peace. She wants them to be granted liberation simply by arriving at the end of their lives. And Shiva's response? 5 perfectly resolute words. Then I will build it. There is zero hesitation. There's no debate about cosmic rules or the strict laws of karma. He just looks at her with the expression of a being who will gladly, without a second thought, move mountains to grant the selfless wish of the woman he loves. His devotion is immediate, and it is absolutely absolute. All right, let's look at how he actually does it. Part 3, City Outside of Time. So Shiva doesn't just point to a random spot on a map. He actively constructs a physical and spiritual sanctuary that defies the very laws of the universe. It's like a giant cosmic puzzle. First, he chooses the western bank of the Ganga. Second, and honestly this is the incredible part, he lifts the spot right up from the earth, holding it high on his trident entirely beyond the reach of cosmic dissolution. So even at the end of an age when everything else is destroyed, Kashi won't be. It literally exists outside of ordinary time. Third, he fills it with his permanent presence. And fourth, he commits to whispering the sacred Taraka mantra. Now, after this monumental act of creation, Parvati walks through this new city in just quiet, absolute wonder. She looks at the river, the freshly made ghats, the temples, and all the people who are already instinctively arriving. And she comes to this profound realization. She tells him, you did not just build a city, you built a door. Because that's exactly what it is. It's a literal gateway out of the cycle of suffering. So the crucial point is how this door actually works. It's all about the Taraka mantra, the sacred mantra of liberation. Shiva made an unconditional, binding promise. Every single soul that comes to Kashi, regardless of what they've done in their life, regardless of their caste, their faith, or whatever broken condition they happen to arrive in, he will personally whisper this mantra into their ear at the exact moment of death. Absolutely no one leaves Kashi without it. You really have to notice Shiva's humility here. When Parvati, who is just deeply moved, tells him, you did this for me, he immediately deflects. He says, I did this because you saw the suffering of the world and could not look away. I only gave it a home. Think about that. This monumental, reality-bending creation wasn't about demonstrating his immense power or feeding his own ego. Not at all. It was entirely about giving a permanent, indestructible physical home to Parvati's boundless compassion. Moving on to Part 4, the eternal Ganga Arti. And this brilliantly illustrates how Kashi didn't just remain some abstract divine concept. It actually evolved into an enduring living legacy, becoming exactly what Parvati originally envisioned. The greatest minds flocked here. Scholars built massive centers of learning. Sages established peaceful ashrams right there on the ghats. Poets were inspired to write their most sacred verses. And musicians developed rich, ancient classical traditions right in its winding lanes. It became this incredible magnet for the brilliant and the broken alike. And guys, this legacy is incredibly alive today. Every single morning, for thousands of years, the city offers fire to the river. I want you to picture this sensory masterpiece, the deep, rich color of lamp gold reflecting on the dark river water right at dawn. The air is thick with the smell of marigolds, sandalwood, and sacred ash. You can hear the melodic strains of the Shehnai and the rhythmic ringing of temple bells. This is the Ganga Arti. It's an ancient, entirely uninterrupted ritual where the river receives the fire, carries it forward, and continues the eternal cycle. Which brings us to our final section, Part 5, the meaning of connection. Let's just slow the pacing down for a moment here. Imagine a quiet, intimate evening with Shiva and Parvati sitting together on the highest ghat of Kashi. The sky is darkening, the city lights are just beginning to flicker on below them, and the distant sound of evening prayers is drifting up from the riverbanks. In this peaceful silence, Parvati asks Shiva to reflect on everything they've built together, raising two divine sons, creating this eternal city of Kashi, forming the sacred geography of the Shakti Pithas, and, executing the cosmic dance that literally holds the entire universe together. But Shiva looks at it entirely differently. He tells her that before her, he was complete. He lacked absolutely nothing. But, as he beautifully puts it, completeness without connection is just isolation. You gave me something to love, something to build for, someone to come back to. He realized that existing perfectly alone was, simply insufficient. Parvati's response here is just deeply moving. She replies, "And you gave me something to believe in completely. Not a perfect being, but a true one. That is rarer." This completely solidifies the core theme of their eternal devotion. It isn't rooted in some unattainable, flawless perfection. Actually, it's rooted in ultimate, absolute truth. They chose each other, and they keep choosing each other across every single age of creation. Now, you might be wondering, what does this mean for us today? Well, it brings us to a really profound realization about the city. Every lamp on every ghat of Varanasi is, in some sense, a love letter. I really want you to think about what that means. If you ever visit Kashi and you feel that palpable, sacred atmosphere in the air, something that is neither just comfort nor discomfort, but something incredibly essential, that is Shiva. That is the physical presence of a god keeping his ancient word for the woman he loves and for the world she just couldn't stop caring about. We've seen them build a city for compassion, raise children, and literally dance the universe into existence. But every great story builds toward a deeper truth. So I'm going to leave you with this provocative question to ponder. What is the ultimate teaching of the love between Shiva and Parvati? What does this eternal story actually mean for every human heart that has ever loved completely? Join me next time for The Explainer as we dive in and find out.